Welcome back into the Sports Source, the segment brought to you by Madisonville Marine. Great deals on Skeeter boats right now, the very first bass boat company out there. They got great boats, and right now through October 15th, you get great deals, rebates of up to $2,500 back on select models of Skeeter bass boats at Madisonville Marine. Get down there and check them out. No better place to buy a boat. Gentlemen, all off season, we talked about the fact that Tennessee has a first-year head coach. We said, look at Kirby Smart. There were issues. Took a 10-win team, won 7 in the regular season. We said there's going to be some issues there. We said you got a first-year offensive coordinator calling plays in terms of Tyson Hilton. You're going to have issues at some point. I think you're seeing some issues. I think you know, and I expected them. That's not a knock. Doesn't mean they can't get through it. I just think that you're seeing some things. I didn't think the team looked ready last night. Didn't think they looked prepared. I thought you had a head coach that wound up getting an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, cost himself 15 yards. I thought there were times last night where Pruitt, you're talking about judging him in year 3 or year 4. I'll be surprised if in year 3 or year 4 he's in the first half of a game and goes twice on 4th down and tries an onside kick in an 11-point game.
If he is doing it,
you're in trouble.
He ain't going to see year 5.
I just think he looks like a guy who's kind of feeling his way for the first time. Again, I expected that. We said that. That's the way I see it. You guys see it that way? Are you seeing any glitches or no? You may totally disagree.
You know, I agree. And last night, and I talked about it before the show, when Jeremy Pruitt kicked the whiteboard, I thought to myself 2 things. Okay, was he trying to motivate his guys? Was that a display of emotion to try to get them a little bit more emotional and into things? Was it a guy that had lost control a little bit? I never have seen a head coach do that. In the middle of a game, go over to a group meeting and do something of that nature.
It's usually assistants.
It's usually assistants that are doing that sort of thing. And so that makes me wonder just a little bit, where's your head at during the game? Because you should be the calm during the storm, and that wasn't a calm move. So that worries me a little bit about this.
Well, I think another thing is, too, guys, Jeremy Pruitt's used to winning football games.
Yes.
And he's used to making play calls that work. Mm-hmm. Now he's making some, by his estimation and statements, the right play call, and it's a terrible result. And I don't think that gets frustrating. Your offensive coordinator, do you still think you're a running team? Do you still think you're a power running team? Some of the play calls about trying to run up the middle that just get stuffed, how many times do we have to see that to know it's not going to work?
Well, see,
obviously more than we saw.
One of my concerns was with Helton because Tennessee had 30 first downs. They only threw 7 times on first down. Their first down completion percentage going into the game, the first 3 games, was, 21 out of 25. And we may differ slightly on this, John, with the offensive line. I think you can help your offensive line, but you cannot help it if you're predictable, if you're running on first down all the time. And I think that hurt them. I think you can help them with the throwback pass to an Austin Pope or working in some wrinkles. I didn't see that. I thought they were predictable. They only threw 2 passes on first down in the first half. That's not the way you're going to beat Florida. So I didn't like the play calling, and I think you didn't help your offensive line by being predictable.
I think you can help your offensive line. I don't think you can mask a bad offensive line for a whole game or a whole season.
Probably not, yeah.
Yeah, and a concern there is that you put an offensive line which is already limited greatly in an even worse position. If you're in second and long situations, which Tennessee was in too often, well, then it's going to be even harder for them when they're limited in what they can do against the defense. So that's something that Tennessee has to figure out. Now you have to do it against Georgia, Auburn, Alabama, so good luck.
Is that learning curve type stuff, we think?
Do
we think some of that's first year?
Yeah, I think they may be a little bit hard-headed, too, about that. I mean, I had them with, like, in 30 first downs, I think it was 72 yards on 30 first down plays. That's it.
I said on Twitter last night there were a lot of people. Dan Mullen was the guy I thought they should hire. That's the one when we did our little board. I said that's the top guy because Shiano I knew the fan was going to freak out over. I said Mullen. So I put on Twitter last night there were a lot of people who didn't want Mullen because I heard a lot of those people last year. What's he ever done? I said, well, he looked pretty good tonight. Like he didn't do anything. Tennessee just melted down. Yeah, and Mullen's team didn't. I just think I may be wrong, but I thought one team looked like they were ready, confident, ready to go last night. The other team didn't. They were similar teams in similar rebuild mode. The difference is one guy has already built a program. He's been a head coach for 10 years. Another guy's a first-time coach. You got to give him time. You hired a guy who's going to make first year. He's going to have growing pains. You may not like it, but you're going to have to put up with him because you hired the first-year guy. Now, as it turns out, you didn't make a mistake on Mullen. That's what I'm saying, because he didn't want your job. But anyway, I think that you're seeing the difference. I thought you saw a little bit of it last night. Here's a team that was prepared by a guy who's been through this before, and here's a team that didn't, and they're making some questionable calls in the first half, a lot of them. So anyway, when we come back, we'll talk to the players. Should Pruitt just go ahead and start playing the youth now? Just more youth. He's playing a lot already. If you just go to the young at this point, and I'll ask Will, what were the 98 guys saying about this mess, how far it's fallen in 20 years? Come on back.